Hi there, folks, and welcome to Get Strumming. My name's Dominic. I'm a music teacher in Huddersfield, and I teach an over 60s ukulele band called the Shelley Over 60s Ukulele Band. And in the past, we've played in care homes, we've done village fetes, we've even played a massive church concert where we raised nearly £1,000 for the church bell tower. So they're a great bunch of ladies and gentlemen in this ukulele group. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to play you a song. This is a ukulele, and I'm going to play you this tune from 1966 by Nancy Sinatra, and it goes something like this. You keep saying you've got something for me, something you don't love but confess. You've been messing where you shouldn't be messing, and now someone else is getting all your best. Yeah, these boots are made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. Oh yeah, and one of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. You keep lying when you ought to be truthing, and you keep losing when you ought to not bet. You keep saying when you want to be a changing, yeah. Now what's right is right, but you ain't being right yet. These boots were made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. But one of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. Here we go. You keep playing when you shouldn't be playing, and you keep thinking that you'll never get burned. Well, I just found me a brand new box of matches, yeah. And what do you know is you ain't had time to learn. These boots were made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. And one of these days these boots are gonna walk all over you. You ready, boots? Start walking. So there you go. That was These Boots Were Made for Walking, and that's just what they'll do. So that was Nancy Sinatra, and played on what you will see, a ukulele. What is a ukulele, you might ask? Well, for those of you who are completely uninitiated with the instrument, I'll just give you a little bit of a history, potted history here. The ukulele, a lot of people think it was from Hawaii, and a lot of people think it was a Hawaiian instrument, which is kind of true, but the origins go back that a little bit further to Portugal, where it was called a branguina, or even machete. And it was brought over in the year 1879 by Portuguese immigrants, and they came over to Hawaii. And the Hawaiians absolutely lapped up this new instrument that was brought over. They thought it was the bee's knees. They loved it. Even the king, Kalakaua, loved it so much. He got himself a ukulele and taught himself how to play it. And the ukulele is actually a Hawaiian word, which means jumping flea, ukulele, or pronounced ukulele. And yes, so it's jumping flea, and the name was a kind of name the Hawaiians gave it to replicate this kind of flea movement that you use to strum, almost like a jumping flea. So that's how the instrument got its name. So later on, obviously, a lot of people might remember George Formby being a big proponent of the ukulele as well. It was a banjolele that George Formby actually used, which is like basically a ukulele and banjo hybrid. So you've got the body of a banjo here, and you've got the neck of a ukulele, small neck and a big body. And the reason that George Formby used one of these was because the body really resonated, and they didn't have microphones way back in the music halls back in the early days. So they needed an instrument that would project right to the back of the hall. Now, unfortunately, this old banjolele that I've got has only got 2 strings on it. It needs a bit of TLC, but I'll just pluck these strings just to give you an idea. Wow. See, there you go. Real resonant sound coming from this banjo body. So George Formby used one of these, and in a music hall tradition, he'd play songs like this. I'm sure you're going to recognize it. Now I go window cleaning to an honest bob. For a nosy partner, it's an interesting job. Well, it's a job that just suits me. A window cleaner you will be. You'd be surprised at things you'd see when I'm cleaning windows. So there you go. So that's a bit of When I'm Cleaning Windows by George Formby. And as I say, he used to use banjo ukulele, or a banjolele as it was called. That was the trade name. And yeah, so obviously the ukulele sort of went out of favor really in the sort of mid 20th century, but then it started to come back into fashion with children taking up the instrument in schools, and also, as I mentioned to you before, the over 60s generation, the kind of retirees, if you would. And in the group that I teach, we've got over 60 members now of people taking up this instrument. Now, you'll be probably wondering, what the heck have I got on the wall behind me? Because there seems to be a whole array of instruments. Well, they're all ukuleles, but I'm going to show you which each ukulele is, because obviously a different ukulele would suit different players. Now, the one that I'm playing here is a tenor uke, but we're going to go now and pick the first one in the row, which is a soprano, sorry, not a concert, soprano uke. Now, this is the smallest uke. Now, the soprano ukulele, it's usually got, these are the frets here, 12 to 15 frets. The frets are the spaces between these fret bars here, these metal bars. And you put your fingers on the frets. So not on the actual metal bars themselves, but in between. And place your fingers between these frets and you will make different chords. So there we go. Now, the soprano uke is one of the smallest. Really recommended for beginners and particular children who've got small fingers, so they'll find it easier to get their hands around the instrument. So they're usually about 21 inches, 12 to 15 frets, and because of the dainty size of the instrument, they're really easy to get your hands around. So this is a soprano uke. Usually you can get one for the cheaper end. You can usually get them for about 25-30 quid. And obviously if you want to get a real deluxe all singing all dancing model, then you can pay, well, up to 100, 150 pounds. But the cheaper, this one I think was 30 pounds, and you can get a decent sound from it. So there we go. So that's the soprano uke. Moving along, we've next up got this Kawai ukulele. This is a concert size ukulele, so we're going up now in size. So again, I would recommend this to people maybe with smaller hands, smaller fingers, so you find it easier to get your hands around. Now again, the concert ukulele has 15 to 20 frets, So there we go, counting up all the way up there. And these are slightly bigger, they're about 23 inches. And as I say, if you're a beginner on the uke, yet again, I'd really recommend a concert ukulele, just because the sheer size of them, easy to get your fingers on. Next, so we've done the concert, we've done the soprano. Next up is the tenor. Now, in the group that I teach, the tenor ukulele tends to be the preferred choice of the blokes. The big men there, with one of these strapped to them, got slightly bigger fretboard here. And it's useful if you've got slightly bigger fingers as well, because I know some of the gentlemen in the group that I teach got hands like shovels. So they need something with a slightly wider fretboard to get the fingers on. So there we go. So this is a tenor ukulele. And the tenor uke, again, going up in size now. This is 26 inches, 15 to 20 frets again. And as I say, I tend to play the tenor uke. It's got a slightly bigger body, ergo, you've got a bigger sound. So you've got a more resonant sound coming from the tenor uke than you would, say, with the soprano or the concert. So there we go. So that's the tenor. Next up, we've got the baritone. Now, the baritone ukulele is slightly different to the soprano, the concert, and the tenor ukes in that it is tuned to a lower pitch. It's a slightly bigger instrument, and it's actually tuned to the top 4 strings of a normal guitar. So with a baritone uke, you're almost into the guitar territory, really, because of its size and its resonance. So there we go. So the strings on a baritone would be the top 4 strings of a guitar: D, G, B, E. And to demonstrate that, here we've got a guitar, and the top 4 strings of the guitar: D, G, B, E. So there we go. Just to show you that I'm not cheating. There we go. So you can tell that those are the top 4 strings of a normal guitar. So there you go. So the baritone, obviously, you're going to be playing slightly different chords than you normally would on a concert, or a soprano concert or tenor. But they're a really nice instrument, and if you're playing a ukulele ensemble, a big group, these provide a nice sort of lower end. So you've got all the higher ukuleles there, your soprano, concert, and tenors, and then you've got this deeper one. Then, moving along, finally, we've got one more, and that is the bass ukulele. Now, this would be used, really, you don't play chords and strum this, you pluck the notes. It's like a bass guitar, and I'll just show you in what context you would play this. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit, and you ain't no friend of mine. So there you go. So this is a bass ukulele, and it's a heartwood, and it's an electro acoustic bass, which basically means that you can plug it in to an amplifier, make it sound really loud, which is always handy, especially if you're playing in a context of a big group situation. So the bass really provides the rhythm to the group that you're playing. So instead of just playing the chords, you're actually thumping out the 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, 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 boom. And the good thing is with the bass, you can make it as simple or as complicated as you want. So for example, there I was playing what's called a walking bass line, because it kind of walks boom, 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 boom. That's called a walking bass line. Or I could have kept it really simple like this. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Just stay on the note. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, grind all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Boom, 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 boom. So you can just stick to the root note, which is the note of the chord that you're actually playing, or you can really extemporize and go all over the place with it if you want. So yeah, so this is the bass uke. So we've been through all the ukuleles now. So yet again, I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. We've got this end, soprano, useful for children, beginners, particularly with small hands. You got the concert there, slightly bigger size. Tenor, which is, I recommend more for people with bigger hands, and they've also got bigger bodies, so they're obviously louder. Baritone there, nice addition to your ukulele ensemble. And even if you've got a bass player, you've got a bass ukulele there. Okay then, so what I'm going to do now is just break up my rambling, because I do ramble, I know that. Comes with age, you see. And I'm going to do you a nice modern song now on the ukulele. Now, this one gets asked for at every single party that I play at, and I can see why, because it's a beautiful song. It's by George Ezra, and it's Shotgun. Homegrown alligator, see you later. Gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Something changed the atmosphere, architecture unfamiliar. I could get used to this. Time flies by in the yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. South of the equator, navigator, gotta hit the road, gotta hit the road. Deep sea diving round the clock, bikini bottoms, lager tops. I could get used to this. Time flies by in the yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top, but I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Yeah, we got two in the front, two in the back, sailing along and we don't look back. Back. Well, time flies by in the yellow and green. Stick around and you'll see what I mean. There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Whoops. Yeah, I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Oh, I'll be riding shotgun underneath the hot sun, feeling like a someone. Very deep. So there you go. That was Shotgun by George Ezra, a song that came out about 3 or 4 years ago, but still really popular. And one of the reasons I love to play it on the ukulele is because it's got just 4 chords that repeat in a cycle. We've got the F major, B flat, D minor, and C. And that's all it does throughout the entire song. You just do 4 strums on F, 4 strums on B flat, 4 strums on D minor, and 4 strums on C. And that's the entire song, just repeated. However, there'll be some of you out there now that'll be thinking, hang on a minute, whoa, what's this chords? What does all this mean? What, you know, what's an F? What's a B flat? Right, I'll basically show you from the beginning what a chord is. Now, when you hear people say chords, you think, well, what's meant by a chord? Well, a chord is basically usually about 3 notes all put together to make this kind of harmonic block. So, for example, here we've got the C major chord. But the C major chord is made up of quite a few notes. It's made up of the C note here, E note there, another C there, and then here we've got a G note. So in effect, what you've got is the C chord made up of 3 notes, C, E, and G, and then you can also repeat one of the notes as well. So there we go. That's the C major chord. So what I'm going to do now is show you one of these. Now, you might have seen these on the internet. This is called a chord diagram. So this is the C chord. Now, as you can see, what we've done here, we've got the frets that I was telling you about, these spaces here, going down. And then going across, we've got the strings. So this is the bottom string here. And we go all the way up to the top. So we're using, if you notice here as well, there's a circle with the number 3 in it. So you might be thinking, well, what does that mean? That indicates which finger you're using. So you've got your first finger, which is your pointing finger. Second finger, which is your middle finger. Third finger being your ring finger. And your fourth finger being the pinky. Now, depending on whether you're left or right-handed, depends on which hand you use to play these chords. Now, I'm right-handed, so I use my right hand to strum and my left hand to produce the chords. And what I'm doing in this case, I'm pointing the ukulele to the left. If I was a right-handed player, obviously I would be pointing the ukulele this way, using my left hand to strum. If I was a left-handed player, that is, sorry, I would be using my left hand to strum and my right hand to play the chords. But in this case, I'm not, I'm right-handed. So here we go. So we've got the little circle with the number 3 in it. So we're using our third finger on the 3rd fret up. Let's just check this diagram again. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 3. That's your 3rd fret. And we're on the first strings because the strings go 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's like this. So there we go. Your first string is the string that's furthest away from you, closer to the ground. So that's the first string, second string, third string, and fourth string. Now you might be asking, why does that string, the last string, sound higher? And I'll come to that in a bit. So there we go. So we need to put our 3rd finger on the first string, 3rd fret. You've got to press down really hard. If you're a new player and you're new to the ukulele, you'll probably find it really tough on your fingers. And it's quite understandable because what you're doing is you're pressing down on these quite thick pieces of plastic or nylon. So it will hurt, but eventually what will happen is the more you practice, I don't know if you can see that, but you'll end up with kind of calluses on your fingertips, which basically means that your fingers have really toughened up so you can play without feeling anything really. But that'll probably take you, depending on how often you practice, maybe a couple of weeks to get really toughened fingertips. So there we go. That is the C major chord. Now you might be asking, well, what use is that? Well, I'll show you. C major, you can play your first song, impress your kids. Now it's not a really cool song, but it's a song to get you started. So what you want to do, just keep your third finger on the third fret first string, and then start using your pointing finger on your strumming hand just to scrape across the strings where the neck, this is the neck here, joins the body, and you're just going straight across the strings here. And just make a kind of stroking motion across the strings. I'm using my fingernail just because you get more of a strident sound. So if you can do that, keep your finger really tight on the third fret first string. You notice I'm using my thumb to create a kind of vice-like grip on the back of the neck, just to help you get a really tough grip on that chord. So if you can do this, we can start singing our first song. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. And row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. There you go. That's your first song. As I say, you're not going to, make it into the charts maybe, or you're not going to sort of get a cool following playing songs like that. But the point is, it's a really good song to get you started. And of course, it's great for kids because kids will know the nursery rhyme, so they'll be familiar with it. Okay then, so we've learned our first chord, that's the C major chord. What we want to do now is learn our second chord, which is Exhibit F. There we go. That is the F major chord. If you notice here, we're actually using two fingers now. So there's a finger here and a finger here. So that's your first finger going here, second finger there. Right, I'll show you how to play the F chord now. First finger on the first fret, and don't forget we're on the second string, which is the string that's second closest to the ground. And then you're using your second finger on the second fret, fourth string, which is the string closest to your face, and then just strum down like that. As I say, again, if you're really struggling to press down, use your thumb at the back of the neck just to use it as a grip. That will help you squeeze down on those notes a little bit easier. Don't worry if you first get this kind of sound, that's absolutely normal. It's because your fingers haven't yet hardened up to the texture of the string, but don't worry, it will come. So that's an F major chord. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do 8 strums on the C chord, and then we're going to try changing to the F. So 8 strums on C, 8 strums on F. After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now to the F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And back to the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There you go. So that's 2 chords on the ukulele. Now, if I were teaching a class, these are the 2 chords that I would really recommend you work on in your first, say, week or so. Then what we'll do is we will have a look at the songs, because whenever you've learned your new chords, it's always really good to apply it to a new song. Now, this one is a song that came out in, I think it was about 1994, and it's an ideal song to learn on the ukulele for a beginner, because you only need 2 chords, and that is the F chord and the C chord. So I'll just show you now. This is Achy Breaky Heart by Billy Ray Cyrus, Miley Cyrus's dad. You can tell the world, you know there was no girl. You can burn my clothes when I am. Then you change to the C. Gone Or you can tell your friends just what a fool I've been, and laugh and joke about me on the, then back to the F, phone. You can tell my arms go back into the farm. You can tell my feet to hit the, and to C, floor. Or you can tell your lips to tell my fingertips they won't be reaching out for you, no. Then back to F, more, into the chorus. But don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, I just don't think it under. Then to C, stand. And if you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, it mightn't blow up and kill this. Then back to the F, man, last verse. You can tell your mom I moved to Arkansas. You can tell your dog that bit my, then to C, leg. Or tell your brother Cliff, whose fist can tell my lips, he never really liked me any. Then back to F, way into the chorus. But don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, I just don't think it under. C, stand. Or tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, he might blow up and kill this. And then finish on F, man. So there you go, 2 chords. That's all you need to play Achy Breaky Heart. So there you go, that's a 2-chord song. Now, as I mentioned before, basically the chords are really, really important when you're playing the ukulele, because they essentially provide the backbone or the bed which you can lay the song on top of. Now, there are a couple of things you can do on the ukulele. You can either pick out the melody. So in the case of, so you're playing the melody there of Achy Breaky Heart. Don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, I just don't think it understand. Or you can do like we were doing before, playing the chords. Don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart. So that's just strumming chords. Or you can play what's called an arpeggio. Don't tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, I just don't think it understand. And if you tell my heart, my achy breaky heart, it might blow up and kill this man. So there's many different ways that you can actually play the uke. Just like I say, a melody, or you can strum the chords, which is what most people do, or you can play a kind of finger picking version. So what I'm going to do now is, just on the subject of finger picking, I'm going to play another song now which goes particularly well down in care homes, when obviously when we're allowed back to playing care homes, because a lot of care homes are still obviously out of bounds at the moment. So I'm looking forward to playing some gigs very soon. And this is Que Sera by Doris Day. When I was just a little girl, I asked my mother, what will I be? Will I be pretty? Will I be rich? Here's what she said to me. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my sweetheart what lies ahead. Will we have rainbows day after day? Here's what my sweetheart said. Que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Now I have children of my own. They ask their mother, what will I be? Will I be handsome? Will I be rich? I tell them tenderly, que sera, sera. Whatever will be, will be. The future's not ours to see. Que sera, sera. What will be, will be. Que sera, sera. So that was Que Sera. So if you notice there, what I was doing, I was using a kind of finger picking. I could have played it like this. When I grew up and fell in love, I asked my sweetheart what lies ahead. So that's one way of playing it, or you can make it a little bit more gentler and a little bit more kind of more like a lullaby almost. Now what I'm doing here is I'm using my thumb, first finger, second finger and third finger on my strumming hand, which is my right hand. And what I do is simply pluck the bottom string here, there with my thumb. Then my first finger is plucking the third string. Second finger plucks the second string. And third finger plucks the first string. Then we go back down. So your second finger then is plucking the second string. First finger plucking the third string. And thumb plucking the fourth string. So you're going gently up and back down. Thumb, first, second, third, second, first. Thumb, first, second, third, second, first. And you just kind of practice till you've got a really nice circulation of going up and down, up and down, up and down. So that's another thing that you can do on the ukulele, playing nice finger picking patterns. Right, okay then, now we need to have a look at another chord now. Now the third chord I'm going to show you is a G7, and as you can see it's like a triangle shape. And what you're doing now is using 3 fingers to play this chord. So your first finger is going at the top here. That's where your second finger goes. That's where your third finger goes. And the G7 chord sounds something like that. So again, I'm just going to show you how to play it. There's your first finger. Now notice we're on the first fret here. So, and then we're on the second string. So don't forget you're counting up from the floor. So that's your first, second string, the first fret. Then you're using your second finger on the second fret, third string. So 1, 2, 3. And then your third finger on the second fret, first string. So that's the string close to the ground. And there is a G7 chord. Now, at this juncture, just while I remember, a lot of people tend to ask, how should I position the ukulele when I'm playing? Well, what I'd recommend is, first of all, get a strap for the ukulele. It's a lot easier when you've got a strap because you're not having to hold it and you're not worried about dropping it. It's there and you can move around with it. And also you can adjust it to the height that you need it. Now, I would recommend that you would have it at chest height. Obviously, how can I put this very carefully? Anatomically, sometimes this isn't possible. So you might want to hold it a little bit lower down. But generally, I kind of suggest holding the ukulele around about chest height so that you can basically put your the join of your arm and rest your arm across with the bottom of the body of the ukulele, just resting between your upper arm and your lower arm, just there. Then your hand will be over the sound hole and your finger will probably strum just about here, which is where you want to be strumming, just where the neck joins the body. So I usually have the ukulele going straight across here, right across my body like that, and I'm using either my thumb on my first finger to strum across the strings. So that's how I would strum the ukulele and hold the ukulele. Good. Now back to the G7 chord. So there we go. So don't forget you've got a kind of triangular shape there. So let's have a look at the chords that we've learned today. So we've got the C major. You just need one finger, your third finger, third fret, first string. Then we've got the F major. 2 fingers you need for this. First finger, first fret, second string, and your second finger, second fret, fourth string. Then to get to a G7, just leave your first finger where it is on the second string, first fret. Then place your second finger, second fret, third string, third finger, second fret, first string. Now, the good news is once you've got the C, F and G7 chord, there are a whole absolute plethora of songs you can play using these 3 chords. I'll just show you some now. This is one that goes down really well with our U group because they're all rock and rollers at heart. This is Rock Around the Clock by Bill Haley using 3 chords. Watch very carefully. My hand never leaves my wrist. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 1, join me home. We'll have some fun. When the clock strikes 1, we're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock, rock, rock till the broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 2, 3 and 4, if the band slows down, we'll yell for more. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock, rock, rock till the broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 5, 6 and 7, we'll be rocking up in 7th heaven. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock, rock, rock till the broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. When it's 8, 9, 10, 11, 2, I'll be going strong, and so will you. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock, rock, rock till the broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 12, we'll pull off then and start rocking around the clock again. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. Gonna rock, rock, rock till the broad daylight. Gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Yes, indeed. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. So there you go, 3 chords, C, F and G7. And there are loads of different songs that you can play with these 3 chords. Mainly Buddy Holly songs. All my love, all my kissing, you don't know what you've been missing, oh boy. To the F, you and me, oh boy. Back to C, to me, that's G7, you, me, F, long, to back to C, me. Also, let's think of another one, Twist and Shout. Well, chicken a baby now. Twist and shout, come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. F, G7, and back to C. F, G7, well, we're getting out. You know you look so good, You know you got me going now, just like I knew you would. And then you've also got, let's see, think of the Beatles one, Love Me Do. Love me do, you know I love you, I'll always be true, so please. There you go, Love Me Do. So you've just got all these different songs from the 50s, 60s, even to the present day. Some of the best songs ever written have got very, very few chords in them. So don't forget, keep practicing this C major, F major, and G7 chords. And then you'll be on your way to becoming a supremo ukulele player. Okay then, so let's have a look now at some different songs that we've been learning in the group. Now this is one of my favorites again. This is another 3-chord trick. I call them the 3-chord tricks because they sound really good, but there's nothing to them. So this is Sloop John B by the Pet Shop Boys, by the Beach Boys. Here we go. Come on, the Sloop John B, my grandfather and me, around Nassau town we did roam. There's the G7. C. So I started John these sails. See how the mainsail sets. Set for the captain, so let me go G7 home. Let me go home. It's back to the C. Now it's the F. Me go home. Back to C. This is the worst trick G7 that I've been on. This is the worst trip that I've been on. So there you go, Sloop John B. So again, another really cool song that you can use with 3 chords. And you're probably asking now, well, how long will it take me to learn these 3 chords? Well, that is entirely up to you and the amount of practicing you put in. But I do say to the ukulele players in my group, some of which have only been playing, they've never played a musical instrument in their life. We've got one gentleman who's 93, and he's been with us for the last, I'd say, 5 years. So he was in his late 80s when he started the uke, and it took him probably about 3 weeks, 2 weeks to master C, F and G7, and by 6 weeks I think he'd learned about 10 or 15 chords. So this is somebody who'd never played an instrument before in his entire life, and all of a sudden within a few weeks in fact he was bringing songs to us. He said, can we learn this one? Can we learn it? Hey, I like this song here, can we learn this? He was suggesting song titles to us, so that was fantastic. So basically it'll take you as long as it takes, and it's just a question of persevering and smiling and enjoying it, because it's such a beautiful little instrument, the uke, and there's no ego to it like big drum kits and big electric guitars. They're just a joyous little instrument. Okay, so more songs. Right. Well, what I thought I'd do again is just pick a few of my favorites that I enjoy playing on the uke. Now, this was an old Burt Bacharach song, and it was performed by B.J. Thomas, and it was in the film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. It goes like this. just like the guy who's either too big for his bed. Nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops keep falling on my head, they keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun. I said I didn't like the way he get things done, sleeping on the job. Those raindrops keep falling on my head, they keep falling. But there's one thing I know, the blues they sent to meet me won't defeat me. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me. Ba-da, 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 ba-da. It won't be long till happiness steps up to greet me. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Crying's not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying me. I do love that song. That was Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head by Hal David, no less, and Burt Bacharach, performed by B.J. Thomas in Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Okay, right. Well, I'm now going to do you another one. This is a song that will suit any age group, and it's one that I play in care homes, and it's one that I also play when I'm doing gigs. In fact, I've got one coming up shortly for a school with children with learning difficulties, and they're particularly fun to play at, because the kids at this particular school that I teach at, they treat it like a rock concert. For an entire hour, it's like a Beatles concert, and it's one of the most wonderful things to witness. And this is one of their favorite songs anyway, and I'm going to play it now. It's I Want to Be Like You. Now I'm the king of the swingers, or the jungle VIP. I've reached the top, but have to stop, and that's what's bothering me. I want to be a man cub, stroll right into town, and be just like the other man. I'm tired of mucking around. Oh, ooh-be-doo, want to be like you. Yeah, I want to walk like you, talk like you too. You see, it's true. Someone like me, yeah, I could learn to be you too. Now don't try to keep me man cub, I made a deal with you. What I desire is men's red fire to make my dream come true. Give me the secret man cub, come on, I'll clue you what to do. Give me the power of man's red flower, so I can be like you. Oh, ooh-be-doo, wanna be like you. Yeah, I wanna walk like you, talk like you too. You see, it's true, that ain't like me. Can learn to be like someone like you. Can learn to be like someone There we go. That was I Want to Be Like You from the Jungle Book. And obviously that goes down, well, it goes down so well in care homes, in schools. Everybody just loves that song. Okay, well, I'd just like to thank you all for joining me this afternoon, and I hope you're all feeling really well. And I know that things are getting better gradually, surely but surely, but slowly, we're getting there. And I'd just like to thank the team at the Royal Voluntary Service for providing this platform for me to be able to communicate with you guys. And also, if you would like to catch any tutorials that I've done in the past, if you go to Get Strumming on my ukulele channel, or getstrumming.co.uk to the website, I've got a whole section of probably, I think we're looking at about 150 videos now that I've put up. Since lockdown began last year, I thought, why not set up a tutorial channel? So if there are any songs that you would like me to teach you, if you're a budding ukulele player, or if you've got any questions that you'd like to ask, then just hop over to the Get Strumming Ukulele tutorial channel on YouTube and just leave me a message in one of the inboxes and I'll get back to you. Maybe you've got a song that you like to learn. Maybe it's, I don't know, grandma's birthday, or maybe it's somebody's birthday that in the family and you'd like to surprise them with a song, and it's like, oh, I wonder if he could teach me how to play maybe a song by Ed Sheeran, maybe a song by Billy Joel, who knows? But just leave me a message in the comment section on my YouTube channel on Get Strumming, and I will endeavour to do a tutorial for you. Okay then, I think it's time to rock it up a bit more now. So I'm now going to play you a medley of rock songs. This is the Shelley Ukulele Rock and Roll Medley. This is one that we play in the group that I teach, and it goes something like this. You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain. Too much love drives a man insane. You broke my will, what a thrill. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I love to love all your Hollywood money. You came along and you moved me, honey. I changed my mind, you're looking fine. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. Kiss me, baby. Ooh, feels good. Hold me, baby. Let me love you like a lover should. You're fine, so kind. I'm in this world, but you're mine, mine. You keep a knocking, but you can't come in. You keep a knocking, but you can't come in. You keep a knocking, but you can't come in. Come back tomorrow night and try it again. You said you love me and you can't come in. You said you love me and you can't come in. Woo! You said you love me and you can't come in. Come back tomorrow night and try it again. Ow! Deep down in the Seattle, close to New Orleans, we're back up in the woods amongst the evergreens. Stood a log cabin in a earthen wood. We lived a country boy named Johnny B. Good, who never ever learned to read or write so well. He could play his guitar just like he's ringing a bell. Go! Go, Johnny, go! Go, Johnny, go! Na, go, Johnny, go! Go, Johnny, go! I'm Johnny B. Good. Here we go. Well, I'm gonna write a little letter, mail it to my local DJ. Yes, it's a rockin' rhythm record. I want my jockey to play. Roll over, Beethoven, gotta hear it again today. Roll over, Beethoven. 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 Take these rhythm and blues. A Chantilly lace and a pretty face, a ponytail hanging down, the wiggle and the walk, giggle and the talk. Ooh, makes the world go round. There ain't nothing in the world like a big-eyed girl. Make me act so funny, spend my money, make me feel real loose like a long-necked goose. Oh, baby, that's what I like. Boom. Missed it. There you go. Well, thanks very much for joining me, folks. And just if you've got a ukulele and you don't play it, get it out from the attic. That's it. Get it out from the attic. Got plenty of time. All you need is 5 or 10 minutes a day. Get the thing out, give it a dust off. And also, if you want to learn how to tune the ukulele, again, go to my channel, Get Strumming, and there's a whole tutorial on how to get the strings sounding as exactly as they should. And then, if you'd like to say, if you've got any songs you'd like to learn, just leave me a message in the comment section on the YouTube videos, and I will get back to you with a tutorial as quickly as I can. But thanks again for joining me, and don't forget to check out more videos on the Royal Voluntary Services Virtual Village Hall website. And thanks very much, and have a safe and enjoyable rest of the week and weekend. Take care for now, folks, and don't forget, get strumming.